Well, that brings us on to success then. So what does success look like for you?
I really thought about that when I read that question. Right, okay. I think for me now, success is knowing that you tried your best. You gave everything you could do. You tried to help people make the world a better place. That's it. And you don't have to lie awake at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking about how you can pay your next bill.
Hmm.
That's about it, really.
And has that changed over the years from when you were younger?
Very much so. My although I'm saying a lot of really positive things about my mum and dad. Yeah, they weren't angels. There was a lot of criticism and a lot of status, but a lot of like emphasis put on status. You have to be the best. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a dentist. You have to be a lawyer. You can't be somebody who's just happy working in an office. That's not good enough,
Hmm.
kind of thing. And I think that really influenced me as a child. Just I've got to get the best job. I've got to get the best degree. I've got to do this, and it was very much um, about money and about status. And I put a lot of pressure on myself because a lot of the things I did or I couldn't do for whatever reason just felt like a failure. So for a long, long time, I viewed myself as a failure. That I'm just letting everybody down. I'm not worth it. It's not worth me trying to do anything because everything's shit. And yeah, that's not a good place to be in, really. You know, but a lot of things have happened that made me change that. So yeah,
I think it does change as you get older, doesn't it? And I know when you were saying about
yeah,
connections
yeah,
before, I I didn't tell my mum and dad that it did say I did like the test, the personality test, and it did say number one was a
yeah,
doctor. And you know how
yeah,
obsessed my mum is with me being a doctor. Um, and obviously, I did become a lawyer, and it's only now that I'm 46 that I'm finally following my
yeah,
passion of being a creative, a comedian, and doing stuff like the
yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
But there's so much pressure on you as a teenager.
yeah, definitely,
So I guess
definitely.
if you're similar to me, you're trying not to apply that similar pressure to your own children.
Yeah, definitely. I always say to them, do what you like, do what you're good at. That's all we can try best, that's all we can expect. And I'd like to think they're happier people compared to what we were at that age, although I know there's really different pressures on them now, and it's still really, really difficult. But I think teenage years are difficult. I wouldn't go through mine again for love nor money. No,
No, well, as you
no,
say, it's different now, different pressures with social media,
yeah,
etc. And
yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
still a lot of pressure. This pressure, as I said, I went to the options evening for my son last night, and they're talking about your 4 year plan and what you're planning to do. What's your
yeah,
career? And like he's 13,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
very much the same as you. What are you good at, and what's going to make you happy? And don't wait till
yeah,
you're 45, 46 to follow your dreams, and
yeah,
try and
yeah,
do that now.
yeah, yeah. Definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what would young Aisha say if she could see you now?
I think she'd be really relieved because a lot of my anxieties, fears as a young person was, am I going to make it? Am I going to be alright? Am I going to be able to have a job that doesn't make me want to kill myself and can actually pay me money? Will I have kids? Will we be happy? It was very much on that level when I was a kid, the pressure that I put on myself in a way. And I think the younger me would be really, really relieved to see that it doesn't work out You know, I have got a job that I like. I have got a job that provides. You know, I've got a family. I live in Bacup. Was that on the list? I'm not sure. Um, and yeah, you know, yeah, I lost my parents, but I found a way to cope with it. And I think she should be really relieved about that, really happy about that. Yeah, yeah,
Brilliant.
that's it.
And is there anything exciting on the horizon that you want to tell us about for the business or for you personally?
So many. um, One of the things I'm most excited about is a couple of things. One of them is next year, my company is going to become the only centre in the United Kingdom that will teach Irish Sign Language at level 6, which is a degree level.
Wow.
The qualification exists. There are people that use Irish Sign Language every day of their lives as interpreters or as deaf people, but there is no centre currently in the UK that offers that qualification. And next year we will become the first and only to offer the qualification, which is huge in terms of sign language progression in itself, but also in my journey, because I first started with Irish Sign Language, so it's really nice to come back to that. And the second one is in September, hopefully, we will be launching our interpreting and translation courses, and I believe that we will be one of 2 centres in the north that will provide that service, which is we train people to become interpreters in sign language and translators in BSL, which is different scale to interpreting, I'm sure you know. But those are the 2 things for the business that I'm really excited for next year. Personally, I'm trying to convince my family to travel more. I want to travel more. Yeah, but with 2 people on the spectrum, it's going to take a bit of persuading, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slow steps. Well, that's a real full circle moment to come back and do the Irish Sign Language. So if people want to hear this and they think, right, I want to pull my finger out and learn some sign language, how can they get on one of your courses? What's your website and social media?
Yeah, Ayesha Communications is the name of the business, and we have online courses, a couple. But if you're interested in learning sign language and you want to do it locally, the best place to look at is a website called Signature, and they are at the moment the only awarding body for BSL. So if you go on their website, Signature BSL, and you will find there a course finder. You just type in the postcode and it comes up with the nearest centre to you. I do recommend that you try and find a deaf tutor rather than a hearing one. But you know, beggars can't be choosers. Just try and find somebody who's qualified at the bare minimum. Yeah, get on with it.
Yeah. I'm certainly going to do that myself, because I think there needs to be more people out in the world that have at least got a basic grasp so that they can help if they need to.
If you join an online course, it'll be mates rates, Mary.
All right, well there you go. I've got no excuse now, have I? Well, that's brilliant. Thanks so much for coming over and for taking the time. I should also give a shout out to Siobhan Rocks, who's been interpreting for Ayesha today, which is a new experience for me. But I think it's gone brilliantly and seamlessly. So thank you both of you.
Thank you for the opportunity.